Cockles are a type of small, edible saltwater clam belonging to the family Cardiidae. They are bivalve mollusks known for their distinctive heart-shaped shells and are often used in various culinary dishes. Cockles are found in coastal areas around the world and have a long history of human consumption. Here are some key characteristics and information about cockles. The shells of cockles are typically heart-shaped or somewhat rounded, and they are usually smooth and shiny. The two shells are equal in size and have a prominent hinge, allowing them to close tightly. Cockles are relatively small clams, with their shells typically measuring between 0.4 to 2 inches in width. The size may vary depending on the species and location. Cockles are found in intertidal zones and subtidal areas of coastal environments, where they burrow into sandy or muddy substrates. They are often located in estuaries, bays, and shallow coastal waters. Cockles are filter feeders and primarily consume phytoplankton, microalgae, and other small particles from the water. They extend their siphons to the surface to filter water for food. Cockles are capable of limited mobility within their burrows, using their muscular foot to dig and reposition themselves in the substrate. They respire by extracting oxygen from the water through gills. When exposed at low tide, they close their shells to retain moisture and reduce the risk of desiccation. Cockles are usually dioecious, with separate male and female individuals. Fertilization takes place externally when eggs and sperm are released into the water. The fertilized eggs develop into planktonic larvae before settling on the ocean floor and growing into adult cockles. Cockles are commonly used in various culinary dishes, including soups, stews, pasta dishes, and seafood platters. They have a slightly sweet and briny flavor and are often considered a delicacy in many coastal cuisines. Commercial and recreational harvesting of cockles is practiced in many regions. They are typically dug from the substrate using rakes or shovels during low tide. Cockles are appreciated not only for their culinary value, but also for their role in marine ecosystems, where they contribute to nutrient cycling and the overall health of coastal habitats. They are a versatile and tasty addition to seafood dishes and have been enjoyed by people around the world for centuries. Ram's horn snails are a group of freshwater snails belonging to the family Planorbidae. They are named for the distinctive shape of the coiled shells, which resemble the spiral shape of a ram's horn or a unicorn's horn. These snails are known for their adaptability to various freshwater habitats and play important roles in aquatic ecosystems. Here are some key characteristics and information about ram's horn snails. The shells of ram's horn snails are coiled in a spiral, typically resembling the shape of a horn. The coiling can be either dextral or sinistral, depending on the species. The shells are often translucent and may be brown or green in color. Ram's horn snails are relatively small, with shell diameters usually ranging from a few millimeters to about an inch, depending on the species. These snails are predominantly found in freshwater environments, including ponds, lakes, rivers, streams, and marshes. They can adapt to a wide range of water bodies, from stagnant to flowing waters, and are often associated with aquatic vegetation. Ram's horn snails are herbivores, primarily grazing on algae and detritus. They use a radula, a specialized feeding structure, to scrape and consume food from the surfaces of aquatic plants and substrates. These snails have a muscular foot that allows them to crawl along aquatic vegetation and other submerged surfaces. They can also swim by undulating their foot. Ram's horn snails are hermaphroditic, meaning they possess both male and female reproductive organs. They lay their eggs in gelatinous masses that are attached to underwater surfaces. The eggs hatch into small snails that develop into adults. Ram's horn snails are important components of freshwater ecosystems. They help control algal growth by grazing on aquatic plants and contribute to nutrient cycling by breaking down organic matter. In some cases, ram's horn snails have been introduced into water bodies to help control the spread of certain aquatic plants, particularly invasive and nuisance species. Ram's horn snails are fascinating inhabitants of freshwater habitats, and the unique shell shapes make them easily recognizable. They are valuable for their roles in maintaining the ecological balance of aquatic environments and for their potential use in managing aquatic vegetation. Golden cowries, also known as Cypria aurantium, are a species of small to medium-sized sea snails or cowrie shells. They are known for their striking, glossy, and brightly colored shells that feature a distinctive orange or yellow hue, which resembles the color of gold. These shells have been prized for their beauty and have been used historically in jewelry, ornamentation, and as currency in various cultures. Here are some key characteristics and information about golden cowries. Golden cowries have glossy, ovate to egg-shaped shells that are primarily golden orange or yellow in color. The shells are often highly polished and may have a series of tiny, evenly spaced ridges along the dorsum, running from the anterior to the posterior end of the shell. The size of golden cowrie shells can vary, but they typically measure between 1 to 2 inches in length. These cowries are typically found in warm, tropical waters in the Indo-Pacific region. They inhabit coral reefs and are often found on the sandy or rocky substrate within or near the reef. Golden cowries are herbivores and primarily feed on various species of sponges, using their specialized radula to scrape off bits of sponge tissue. While cowries are gastropods, they tend to be relatively immobile and are typically found in one place, often hidden within crevices or holes in the reef. They can extend a fleshy foot to move, but this is not their primary mode of locomotion. Cowries are dioecious, meaning they have separate male and female individuals. Fertilization is internal, with the male transferring sperm to the female. After fertilization, the female lays eggs that develop into planktonic larvae, eventually settling on the ocean floor to grow into adult cowries. Cowrie shells, including golden cowries, have had cultural and historical significance in various regions. They have been used as currency, ornaments, and symbols of wealth and fertility in different societies. Cowrie shells have been found in archaeological sites and have been used in various forms of art and craft. Golden cowries and other cowrie shells have been collected and traded by collectors and enthusiasts worldwide. They continue to be appreciated for their beauty and cultural significance. Golden cowries are a visually striking and culturally significant species of cowrie shell that adds a touch of the tropics to the world of shells and marine mollusks. Their luminous shells have made them prized and admired by people across the globe. Basket shells, also known as basket clams, are a group of marine bivalve mollusks belonging to the family Corbulidae. These small clams are characterized by their distinctive and ornate shell shape, which resembles a miniature basket or box. They are found in various coastal and shallow water environments around the world. Here are some key characteristics and information about basket shells. Basket shells have unique and highly sculpted shells that resemble a box or basket, with prominent ridges and compartments. The shells often have a rectangular or square appearance with deeply incised, zigzag-like patterns. These clams are typically small, with their shells ranging from about 0.4 to 1.2 inches in length. The size may vary depending on the species and location. Basket shells are marine bivalves found in a variety of coastal and shallow water environments, including estuaries, bays, intertidal zones, and sandy or muddy substrates. Basket shells are filter feeders, primarily consuming plankton and detritus by drawing water into their shells and filtering out particles. They have 2 siphons that extend from the shell to facilitate the intake and outflow of water. These clams have a muscular foot that allows them to burrow into the sediment or crawl along the substrate. While they are not highly mobile, they are adapted to move within their habitat. Basket shells respire by extracting oxygen from the water through gills, which are usually located in the posterior part of the body. Basket shells are typically dioecious, with separate male and female individuals. Fertilization typically occurs externally when eggs and sperm are released into the water. The fertilized eggs develop into planktonic larvae before settling on the ocean floor and growing into adult clams. Basket shells are important components of coastal ecosystems, where they play a role in nutrient cycling and contribute to the overall health of the habitat. They are also preyed upon by various marine animals, such as birds and crabs. Basket shells are admired for their ornate and intricate shell shapes, which make them visually distinct in the world of bivalve mollusks. While they may not be as well known as some other marine animals, their unique appearance and ecological roles make them a valuable part of coastal environments. Flame scallops, scientifically known as Lemur scabra, are a species of bivalve mollusks that belong to the family Limidae. They are also commonly referred to as electric flame scallops, or simply flame scallops, due to their stunning appearance. These bivalves are known for their vibrant and iridescent colors, making them a popular addition to marine aquariums. Here are some key characteristics and information about flame scallops. Flame scallops have brightly colored, fan-shaped shells. The upper valve is typically bright red, orange, or pink, while the lower valve is typically pale or whitish. The upper valve is more elongated and serves as a vibrant display, while the lower valve is used for attachment. Flame scallops are relatively small, with shell sizes typically ranging from 2 to 3 inches in width. These scallops are found in tropical and subtropical marine environments, often residing in crevices, overhangs, or shallow reef areas, where they attach themselves to hard substrates such as coral reefs, rocks, or shells. Flame scallops are filter feeders, primarily consuming plankton and small particles from the water. They use their feathery, bright red tentacles, called ctenidia, to capture and direct food particles toward their mouth. Unlike other bivalve mollusks, flame scallops are capable of limited mobility. They use their lower shell to swim or glide through the water, and their upper shell, which acts as a sail, catches currents to carry them to new locations. Flame scallops have separate male and female individuals. Fertilization occurs when sperm and eggs are released into the water, and the resulting larvae settle on the ocean floor and attach themselves to a substrate to grow into adult scallops. Flame scallops often form a symbiotic relationship with other organisms. They may host various species of small shrimp, such as Peterson cleaner shrimp or sexy shrimp, which benefit from the protection and access to food provided by the scallop's tentacles. In turn, the scallops benefit from the cleaning services provided by these shrimp. Flame scallops are popular in the marine aquarium trade due to their striking appearance. However, they can be challenging to maintain in captivity, as they have specific habitat and dietary requirements. It is essential to provide them with suitable water conditions and maintain a thriving population of microorganisms for them to filter feed on. Flame scallops are admired for their vibrant colors and unique behaviors, making them an attractive addition to marine aquariums. In their natural habitat, they contribute to the overall biodiversity and health of coral reef ecosystems. Sea butterflies, also known as pteropods, are a group of small, floating sea snails that belong to the mollusk class Gastropoda. They are characterized by their gelatinous, wing-like structures, which they use for swimming in the open ocean. Sea butterflies are fascinating and delicate creatures that are an essential part of marine ecosystems. Here are some key characteristics and information about sea butterflies. Sea butterflies have a unique body shape with a transparent, coiled shell that is often small and delicate. Their common name, sea butterflies, comes from their wing-like structures, called parapodia or wings, which they use for swimming. The size of sea butterflies can vary depending on the species, but they are generally small, typically ranging from a few millimeters to a few centimeters in length. Sea butterflies are pelagic marine snails, meaning they live in the open ocean rather than on the seafloor. They are found throughout the world's oceans, from surface waters down to considerable depths, depending on the species. Sea butterflies are voracious carnivores and primarily feed on other planktonic organisms, including small zooplankton and phytoplankton. They use mucus webs to capture their prey. Sea butterflies are exceptional swimmers, thanks to their wing-like structures. They create propulsion by flapping their parapodia, which allows them to move through the water column with ease. The shells of sea butterflies are often transparent and fragile, and they come in various shapes and sizes. Some species have shells that are coiled in a spiral, while others have more elongated or straight shells. Sea butterflies are an essential part of marine food webs. They are a source of food for various marine animals, including larger planktonic organisms, small fish, and some species of seabirds. Sea butterflies are particularly sensitive to changes in ocean chemistry, especially ocean acidification, which occurs as a result of increased carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere. The acidification can lead to the dissolution of their fragile shells and may negatively impact their populations. Sea butterflies have been studied for their role in marine ecosystems and their responses to environmental changes. They are also used in paleontological research to understand past ocean conditions. Sea butterflies are captivating marine creatures that demonstrate remarkable adaptations for life in the open ocean. Their unique swimming abilities, delicate shells, and ecological significance make them a subject of scientific interest and appreciation in the marine world. Flamingo tongues, also known as flamingo tongue snails, are a species of small, brightly colored sea snails. Scientifically, they belong to the family Scyphoma, and their species name is Scyphoma gibbosum. These snails are commonly found in tropical and subtropical waters of the Caribbean Sea, the Gulf of Mexico, and parts of the western Atlantic Ocean. Flamingo tongues are known for their striking and ornate shells and are often associated with coral reefs. Here are some key characteristics and information about flamingo tongues. The shells of flamingo tongues are small, glossy, and elongated with an oval or cylindrical shape. They are typically less than an inch in length. What makes them distinctive is their bright and vibrant coloration. The shells have intricate, flame-like patterns with a white base and striking pink, orange, or red spots and lines. These patterns give them the common name. Flamingo tongue snails are primarily found on and around coral reefs in tropical and subtropical marine environments. They are often located on Gorgonian corals and other soft corals. Flamingo tongues are herbivores that feed exclusively on soft corals, particularly Gorgonian corals. They use a radula to scrape and consume the soft tissues of the coral polyps. These snails are relatively immobile and are typically found attached to their host corals. They can crawl and extend a foot but do not have extensive mobility. Flamingo tongues are known to accumulate toxins from the corals they feed on. As a result, they are unpalatable and potentially toxic to many potential predators. Their vibrant coloration serves as a warning to would-be predators that they are not suitable prey. Flamingo tongues are dioecious, with separate male and female individuals. They lay eggs, which develop into planktonic larvae that eventually settle on the ocean floor and grow into adult snails. While flamingo tongue snails are not considered endangered, they are subject to collection by shell collectors and divers. Overharvesting can have negative impacts on local populations, and it's important to practice responsible and sustainable collection practices. Flamingo tongues are admired for their colorful and visually striking shells, which have made them popular among shell collectors and enthusiasts. They are a beautiful and ecologically interesting part of coral reef ecosystems, where they play a role in controlling the growth of soft corals. Their vibrant patterns are not only a visual delight, but also serve as a warning to potential predators, making them a unique and captivating species in the marine world. The warty sea cucumber, scientifically known as Parastochopus parvimensis, is a species of sea cucumber, which is a marine echinoderm related to sea stars, sea urchins, and sand dollars. The warty sea cucumber gets its name from the distinctive warts or tubercles that cover its body. These sea cucumbers are found in various coastal and shallow water marine environments, primarily in the eastern Pacific Ocean. Here are some key characteristics and information about the warty sea cucumber. The warty sea cucumber has a thick, elongated, and sausage-like body covered in warts or tubercles. The tubercles can vary in size and distribution, giving the animal a distinctive, bumpy appearance. The coloration of these sea cucumbers can range from brown to reddish-brown or purple. Warty sea cucumbers can reach lengths of up to 12 inches or more, depending on the individual's age and environmental conditions. They are typically found in shallow coastal waters, particularly in rocky or sandy substrates, seagrass beds, and kelp forests. They are often buried in the sediments or hidden among rocks and algae. Warty sea cucumbers are detritivores, which means they feed on organic matter and detritus found in the sediment. They use their tentacles, which are modified tube feet, to collect particles from the substrate and transfer them to their mouth. They respire by extracting oxygen from the water through specialized respiratory tree structures within their body cavity. These structures allow him to breathe and exchange gases. Warty sea cucumbers have a remarkable defense mechanism. When threatened, they can expel their internal organs, which can entangle or distract predators. The sea cucumber can later regenerate these organs. These sea cucumbers are dioecious, with separate male and female individuals. Fertilization typically occurs externally when males release sperm and females release eggs into the water. The fertilized eggs develop into planktonic larvae before settling on the ocean floor to grow into juvenile sea cucumbers. Warty sea cucumbers play a crucial role in marine ecosystems by helping to recycle and break down organic matter in the sediments. Their feeding and burrowing activities contribute to sediment turnover and nutrient cycling. Some species of sea cucumbers, including the warty sea cucumber, are commercially harvested for their meat, which is considered a delicacy in some Asian cuisines. Sustainable management practices are important to prevent overharvesting. Warty sea cucumbers are unique and fascinating creatures that are not only ecologically important but also of economic significance in some regions. Their ability to regenerate organs and their role in sediment health make them an interesting subject of study in marine biology and ecology. Olive snails, often referred to as olive shells, are a group of sea snails belonging to the family Olividae. These marine gastropod mollusks are known for their distinctive, elongated, and glossy shells that resemble olives, which is how they get their common name. Here are some key characteristics of olive snails. The shells of olive snails are typically elongated, cylindrical, and smooth, with a narrow aperture and a pointed apex. Olive snail shells come in a range of colors, including various shades of brown, cream, and sometimes patterned with darker markings. The size of olive snails varies among species, but they generally have relatively large shells, with some species reaching several inches in length. Olive snails are found in oceans worldwide, primarily in tropical and subtropical waters, often in sandy or muddy substrates. These snails are carnivorous and primarily feed on other marine invertebrates, such as clams and other mollusks. Olive snails are admired for their beautiful shells and are sometimes collected by shell enthusiasts. However, it's essential to be mindful of conservation regulations and guidelines when collecting shells from the wild, as some species may be threatened or endangered due to habitat destruction and overharvesting. Hammerhead worms, also known as broadhead planarians or land planarians, are a type of terrestrial flatworm belonging to the family Bipaliidae. These worms are distinctive for their flattened, elongated bodies and their broad, hammerhead-shaped heads, which give them the common name. Here are some key characteristics and information about hammerhead worms. Hammerhead worms are relatively large compared to many other flatworms, with some species reaching lengths of up to 20 inches. They have a ribbon-like, flattened body, and their head is broad and triangular in shape, resembling a hammerhead. They come in various colors, including shades of brown, gray, and sometimes mottled patterns. Hammerhead worms are primarily found in moist, terrestrial environments, such as gardens, leaf litter, and forest floors. They are often encountered under rocks, logs, or in soil. These worms are predatory and feed on earthworms, snails, and other soft-bodied invertebrates. They use a combination of mucus and their body shape to capture and immobilize their prey. Hammerhead worms are hermaphrodites, meaning they have both male and female reproductive organs. They reproduce by copulating with other individuals and can also reproduce asexually by fragmentation, where a piece of their body can regenerate into a new worm. In some regions, certain species of hammerhead worms have become invasive pests that can negatively impact local ecosystems. They may outcompete native earthworms and disrupt the balance of soil-dwelling organisms. It's worth noting that while hammerhead worms can be fascinating to observe, their status as invasive species in some areas underscores the importance of not intentionally transporting them to new locations and being aware of potential ecological impacts in regions where they are not native. Ammonites were marine mollusks that lived during the geological eras from the Devonian period to the end of the Cretaceous period. They were part of the cephalopoda class, which also includes modern-day squids, octopuses, and nautiluses. Ammonites are known for their coiled, spiral-shaped shells, which are often beautifully preserved as fossils. Here are some key characteristics and information about ammonites. Ammonite shells were typically coiled in a planispiral shape, much like a tightly wound snail shell. These shells were divided into a series of chambers by a spiral, wall-like structure called septa. The animal lived in the outermost chamber, while the inner chambers contained gas, allowing the ammonite to control its buoyancy. The size of ammonites varied greatly among different species. Some were quite small, while others could reach substantial sizes, with diameters ranging from a fraction of an inch to several feet. Ammonites were exclusively marine creatures and inhabited the seas and oceans of their respective eras. They were free-swimming, predatory animals that lived in a variety of aquatic environments, from shallow coastal waters to deep-sea regions. Ammonites became extinct at the end of the Cretaceous period, around the same time as the mass extinction event that also wiped out the non-avian dinosaurs. The exact cause of their extinction remains a topic of scientific investigation, but factors such as changing sea levels, climatic conditions, and asteroid impact have been proposed as possible contributors. Ammonite fossils are widespread and abundant in the fossil record. The unique shape and structure of their shells make them popular among fossil collectors, scientists, and enthusiasts. The study of ammonite fossils has been essential for understanding the Earth's geological history and for dating rock layers and sedimentary formations through a method called biostratigraphy. Ammonites exhibit a wide range of shell shapes and intricate patterns, and they are often used as index fossils in stratigraphy to help determine the age of sedimentary rocks. Their fossils provide valuable insights into ancient marine ecosystems and past geological conditions. Cone snails are a group of predatory sea snails belonging to the family Conidae. They are known for their striking and beautifully patterned conical shells. These snails are found in various warm water oceans and seas around the world. Cone snails are remarkable for their predatory behavior and their ability to produce venom that can be toxic to humans and other animals. Here are some key characteristics and information about cone snails. Cone snails have elongated, conical shells with intricate patterns and colors, which can vary widely among different species. The shells are often highly prized by collectors for their aesthetic appeal. Cone snails are carnivorous and use a specialized feeding structure known as a radula tooth, which is modified into a harpoon-like structure. When they locate their prey, typically small fish, other snails, or worms, they shoot a harpoon loaded with venom to immobilize and capture their meal. The venom produced by cone snails can be extremely potent and contains a complex mix of toxins. Some of these toxins can have neurotoxic effects on their prey, affecting the nervous system. In some cases, cone snail venom can be harmful to humans, and several species are considered dangerous. Despite their dangerous venom, some compounds found in cone snail toxins have been investigated for their potential medicinal applications. Certain neurotoxins from cone snails have been studied for their ability to manage pain, epilepsy, and neurological disorders. The family Conidae is highly diverse, with numerous species and subspecies. Taxonomists and scientists continue to describe and classify new species within this family, which underscores the vast biodiversity of cone snails. Some cone snail species are threatened due to habitat loss and overcollecting by shell enthusiasts. Conservation efforts are necessary to protect these unique marine creatures. It's essential to exercise caution and not handle or disturb cone snails in the wild, as they can deliver potentially dangerous venomous stings. If you encounter cone snails, it's best to observe them from a safe distance and not attempt to handle them.